What up? It's your boy, Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending on what time zone you're in, it's Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Wednesday morningers, you made it halfway up the mountaintop. We are jealous of y'all. Tuesday nighters, hey, we're going to wake up and it'll be hump day for us. So, hey, we ain't that far off. All right, y'all, I have a great show set up for you guys today. I have two breaking stories. Charlamagne Tha God confirms with me directly if Dame Dash is suing iHeart Radio for $100 million or if he's suing Charlamagne directly. Also in our breaking story, Diddy can dress up for court on Friday. In lead stories, we have four lead stories. Prosecutors want Diddy to stay in jail for 11 years and 3 months for transportation. Cassie writes a letter to the judge saying she has nightmares and she wants him to stay in jail as long as possible. Candance Owens says the media and the feds are lying to us about Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk. She also says that Tyler was set up and we need to look into Lance, his roommate. In quick news, we are going to talk about Donald Trump, YouTube, Latto, 21 Savage, Klay Thompson, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Manaj, Cardi B, Ice Spice, DJ Vlad, Bad Bunny, and LeBron James. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, and question of the day. Did I say that already? Question, comments, social discussion. It's like it's a Monday morning for me. I don't know what's going on, y'all. Anyways, y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, your devices up. Yeah, let's go. It's hump day for some of y'all and hump day for us tomorrow. Let's go. All right, our first breaking story. Yesterday and also I think on Monday show or Sunday show, I let you guys know about Dame Dash suing The Breakfast Club and Charlamagne Tha God. I also let you know when I told you on both of those days that I do have a relationship with Charlamagne, and I hesitate sometimes talking about The Breakfast Club because of the relationship I have with him and the fact that we, for the third year in a row, I will be on stage with him at his Mental Wealth Alliance. I'll tell you guys about that at the end. And part of that hesitation is for what happened to me this morning. I woke up to a DM directly from Charlamagne saying, yo, why are you peddling in base internet gossip and lies? So I wrote back to him and I'm like, all right, I already know what you're talking about. And I was like, listen, from what Dame is saying and Dame's people are saying is that he is suing The Breakfast Club, et cetera, et cetera. I won't get into it or play the clip. I played it for the past 2 days. So I said, yo, while I have you, can you give me a statement? Can you let me know if it is correct? Is he suing The Breakfast Club or not? Now, I'm not going to give you the details or even show you the DMs, but what I can say is that, quote, Dame Dash is not presently suing The Breakfast Club. However, Charlamagne did confirm with me that Dame did send a cease and desist letter. Now, I reached out back to Dame's people, and they haven't answered me. Now, and I don't know why, because I did talk with them before, but I feel like there could be, I don't know, maybe something going on. Now, I appreciate Sharp for reaching out, and I appreciate him for giving me that exclusive, if you want to say. But what I will say, again, to be unbiased, right? Because it's part of my job, whatever relationship I have with the artist or, publicist or whatever, and it happens all the time, I have to do my job. Now, Dame said he is suing The Breakfast Club now, and for defamation. Now, how defamation suits work is, no, you don't go to an interview, feel like you've been defamed, and then all of a sudden the lawsuit comes the next day. Like I've told you guys all the time with defamation lawsuits, even I always bring up the example of Tasha K and Cardi B. It's Cardi B sending a cease and desist letter saying, hey, Tasha K, you're saying this and this about me. Stop or correct it. Now, if Dame is sending a cease and desist to The Breakfast Club, what is he asking to cease and desist? Is it because he complains that they've been talking about him before the interview and during the interview, talking poorly about him, and it's leading to him losing deals, et cetera, et cetera? That's the defaming. So again, Dame's people haven't got back in touch with me at the time that I'm recording this. So Could it be that Dame is not presently suing the Breakfast Club and he is sending a cease and desist to see if they will backtrack, correct things, takes things off the site or whatever? Or going forward, don't say anything detrimental or defaming to Dame Dash. That's what I'm interested in finding out. And I understand maybe Charlamagne can't tell me all of those details or won't tell me those details over DM. Maybe it's something that we might talk about in private. I wouldn't say anything anyways. But, you know, when legal things start to happen, you have to be careful on both sides. So, again, like I said, I will give it the confirmation that Dame is not suing right now. So I wanted to make that clear. I told Char I would clean that up today. Is he presently, is there a court case going on right now? No. But Dame has sent a cease and desist letter, and that is how defamation cases work. So I will stay up to date on this situation. I'll let you guys know if Dame's people get back in touch with me as while I'm recording this. We shall see. But like I said, from what I've been told on Dame's side, that there will be something coming along the lines. And I guess it will really be determined by iHeart Radio if they cease and desist whatever they're requesting in that letter. That's how defamation cases work. So that is it. That's the cleanup. Again, thanks to Shar for reaching out, all the people in the Breakfast Club. And oh yes, what I wanted to show you guys here is we do have marketing material for the Mental Wealth Alliance. I'll put it up right beside me. Mental Wealth Expo. It's going to be in Newark, New Jersey, October the 11th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Charlamagne Tha God, Dr. Alfie, Devi Brown, Jason Williams, etc., Angela Rye, my homeboy, Dr. J. Bryant, and then you see me there as well, too. And, of course, Elliot Connie, Dr. Rashida Walker, and Domenti. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Y'all know this dyslexia gets me. You'll see in the corner, and more to be announced. All right. So there will be more people there also. It is a free event. This is the 5th annual. This is my 3rd year in a row that I will be there with my guys. It's one of my favorite events of the year. It's when, and especially the panel that I'm on, it's Black men. And it's very seldom that you see a stage with Black men talking about mental health, mental healing, therapy. The crowds, I think, sometimes gets to ask us some questions, but then there's already some questions pre-set up for us. And we just get to have a conversation and talk about mental health. And you guys know I'm a huge mental health advocate. I talk about it all the time. So I appreciate iHeart and Shar and especially Dr. Alfie for bringing me out there for the 3rd annual. It is a free event. You'll see the address there. I think they already gave out the address here. Joel and Diane Bloom Wellness and Event Center. So I'm sure whoever is from Newark knows that place. You just put it in Google. It's a free event. I'll be giving out my books free there after. I'll be doing a book signing and be giving out, I think last year, I gave around 200 copies of each book, or maybe it was 200 collectively, but I'll be giving out free copies of my book, signing pictures. It's a great day. If you're into mental health, it's great. If you've ever been curious about mental health, even better. And what I love the most is for the people who are not into mental health and have never experienced it. Those are the people, for me personally, I really like to come and show up based on whoever might be there or whatever reason, or somebody else drags you there. And hopefully they come out saying, you know what? I started the day off very questionable or doubtful about mental health or therapy, and now I've left with some sort of intrigue or some more interest. That's my hope. And again, especially for Black men who don't normally like to get into their feelings and thinking about positively about therapy. We just heard Young Thug saying he doesn't want Mariah the Scientist's girlfriend to have to go to a therapist. He feels uncomfortable or not manly with his girl going to speak with another man. And that is just the framework and the attitude that we would love to change. Like I said, iHeartRadio and Charlamagne put this on and do not charge. So this is just an investment into the community. All right. So I hope to see you guys there. I'm sure we'll be getting more assets. You'll see me post it up on Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. I've been hinting it and I've been telling you guys for the past couple of weeks, but this is the first asset I have. They'll be sending us more assets. So you'll see it. Do not miss it. October the 11th. Free free, and you can get free copies of my book, all right? So hope to see you there, and shout out to Shar, Dr. Alfie, and iHeart Radio. All right, this brings us to our second breaking story. All right, Judge Sumaranian, that's the first time I ever attempted to pronounce his name, Judge Sumaranian, is letting Diddy dress up for his sentencing on Friday. He is permitted to have one button-down shirt, one pair of pants, one sweater, and one pair of shoes without laces to wear to court, okay? I spoke on this, maybe it was over the weekend or whatever. So when we were in court last Thursday, one of the things I said as soon as I came out and was doing a live right in front of the courthouse was I was so shocked to see Diddy in his jail scrubs. And I'm calling them jail scrubs because it literally looked like a doctor's scrub, because I'm trying to explain it to you guys. It looked like a doctor's scrub, but just brown. It was baggy, big material, very, very, very thin. And I was surprised to see him. But then as I thought about it, I was like, the only reason why you get to come up in court when you're denied bail and you get to come to court in normal, regular clothes is because the jury needs to see you as innocent and not as guilty. So if you came there with a jail scrub or a jail outfit, they kind of subconsciously already think that you're guilty. So in the Constitution, as a right to be, as you're innocent to proving guilty, you get to show up in your everyday clothes and the jury sees you and will judge you fairly. So then when I was outside, I was like, I've never seen him like that. But of course, the jury's not there. Why should he have to be dressed up? Now, after that live, I said that, I think on Saturday or Sunday show, I showed you guys of something that I got. I don't remember where. I don't know if it was online or I got it from the team, but they're saying that how they're making Diddy's making a request to be in normal layman clothes, dressed up for his sentencing report. And I said that I thought that was a horrible idea. And I just want to reiterate once again, for those who may not have seen it, why I think is a horrible idea. Now, in the courtroom, first of all, just to remind you guys, there is no cameras, no cell phones, no nothing, okay? Nothing. There's only a lady sketching something. So Diddy cannot get pictured. He can't be photographed. He can't be filmed. Nothing. In the courtroom, there are the lawyers, the bailiffs, and the people that work in the courthouse, okay? There are all of his family. There are 14 people from new media, so me, 13 other people. Then there's 22 spaces for legacy media, CNN, NBC, whatever. And then that's it. For Diddy to be asking the judge while he's awaiting sentencing to show how, what's the word I'm looking for? How, to show how, it's the word. Anyways, it's just not a good look. There's a word for that when you're trying to vain, to show how vain you are. I think that's the word, to show how vain you are, to be like, I want to show up in front of basically the media, the same people that were here on Thursday and saw me in my jail scrubs. Like when I'm sentenced and people are just looking at me, I want to be dressed nicely. I think that is the entirely wrong message to send to the judge. And if I was on Diddy's team, I would literally tell him how much of a bad idea it is. Now, to be fair, Diddy, doesn't always listen to people on his team. So I'm not going to now throw his team under the bus and be like, hey, it's their idea. This is probably, I'm assuming this is not from a source or anything. I'm assuming this is probably what Diddy wants. And his team was like, all right, if that's what you want, I'll do. Because at the end of the day, he's the one paying the bill, right? But I just feel like it's the wrong message, because every time he asks for bail, and especially now he's asking for a later sentence, it's, well, Your Honor, it's my upbringing, my father, my abuse issues, my DRUG issues, this, etc. I want you to let me out because my mom is elderly. I have 7 or 6 kids to take care of. I want to just be home. I don't want to go back out to my old ways. I don't want to be partying. I don't want to have freak offs. I don't want to have hotel nights. I just want to be home to take care of my family. Well, if that's the case, why would you even put in the judge's head that you want to be dressed up in a button-down shirt? Why would that be? That would be the last thing I would want the judge to think that's on my mind. You could bring me to court in a friggin' robe. I'll come there in whatever you want. Put me in a bikini if you want. Judge, I just want to go home to my family. I just want to go home to my children. I just want to go home to my mom. That's all I care about. That's all the letters that the judge should be getting. And his team sent a request last Thursday when we were there for motion rule 29, which the judge still hasn't ruled on yet. And the only reason why he had to come in those jail scrubs is because they sent it in too late, or there was something there where it got mixed up. So now somebody somewhere within the team or Diddy is like, don't make that same mistake again. At sentencing, the same people that were here, it's a room. You can't pack it more than it is. Okay. I want them to see me in a button down. Because if I get sentenced to 11 years in jail, which I'm going to read to you in lead stories, if I get sentenced to 11 years, or if I get sentenced to 5 years, if I get let out, I want to make sure they see me in a button down and a nice sweater. That is such a bad idea. I cannot emphasize how bad that is and how it makes it seem that his mind is still not in the right place after being in jail for 14 months. And I'll close off with this. The reason why you are sent to jail after doing a crime, and depending on how long you're sent, is to feel, so the judge wants to feel like the time that you have spent there rehabilitates you and you've had enough time to think about your issues or your crimes, so when you come out, you don't do it again. That's the whole point of jail. All right. People don't even think about that, but that's the whole point. After 14 months, you showing that you still care about how you look to the media that can't even take pictures of you is not in accordance to what your team has been saying of the reason why you want to get out. So I will shut up for now. I just think it's a bad idea. Y'all comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. All right, our first lead story, like I just mentioned, prosecutors in Sean Diddy Combs' trial are seeking an 11-year sentence and 3 months, an 11-year and 3 months prison sentence, along with a $500,000 fine. Federal prosecutors are asking the judge to sentence Sean Diddy Combs to 11 years and 3 months in prison, arguing the music mogul spent years doing a bunch of bad things to people, to women, and a lot of stuff with SEX. All right, we all know what's going on with there. The request follows his conviction of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, though he was acquitted of racketeering and SEX trafficking charges under force, fraud, and coercion. The new sentencing memo, prosecutors detailed testimony from 2 women, referring to Ventura and Jane, that's Cassie and Jane, who describe being pressured into performing, participating in freak-offs and hotel nights, encountering engagements with Combs that often involved DRUG, escorts, and cameras. Both women said that they were, there was a lot of uncomfortable things that happened, okay? The government argued that the issues are not isolated and part of a year-long pattern that felt and left them with trauma. They asked the court to apply multiple sentencing enhancements, rejection, I don't know what that last word is, and impose maximum financial penalties, stressing that a long prison term is needed to reflect on the sincerity of the crimes. Just like what I said about it, just keep him in there for 11 months so that it really sticks in his head. Sean Diddy Combs, who's 55, is scheduled to be sentenced. This is saying next week, but that's not true. It's this week, Friday, in Manhattan federal court, where Judge Sumerian will decide his fate. Okay. I did a quick reel on this on Instagram. I'm going to play it for you. And then I'm going to, now let me tell you what Cassie wrote. Cassie wrote a letter to the judge saying she has nightmares about Diddy ahead of his sentencing on Friday. Cassie Ventura, full name Cassandra Ventura, to the federal judge, that doesn't make sense, but anyways, wrote a letter, I think they mean, to the federal judge presiding over Sean Diddy Combs' sentence in his high-profile SCX trafficking and racketeering case. Submitted ahead of October the 3rd, 2025 hearing, the letter provides a raw emotional account of the profound trauma inflicted by Diddy during their decade-long relationship. that started in 2007 and lasted till 2018, which began when she was 15 and he was 37. It underscores the lasting physiological and physical scars from the alleged incidences, including him putting hands on her, SCX encounters, and coercive control, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. I just realized I'm not going to play the reel. I put it, because I have it in the shorts on YouTube, and why should I play the short when I could give you the long version now? Okay. Do you see there at the end how Cassie's letter details the putting hands, physical issues, SCX encounters, and they put coercive control. Now, I ask you this. Diddy was found not guilty of RICO. Okay, RICO is you have to be guilty of 2 predicate acts under the RICO statute, which is like 35 different crimes. You have to find 2 that he committed in 10 years. Bribery, arson, blah, 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 blah. Not guilty. There was one juror who had a question, wasn't sure. They came back a couple of hours later, unanimously not guilty. Now, SCX trafficking under force, fraud, and coercion, all those things that Cassie's letter spoke about, Cassie got on the stand and said a bunch of things in her testimony. There was text messages shown, and I'll give you one, for example. She said one time they were on a plane and he showed her a freak off, and he said to her, hey, you see this freak off that we taped here? If you don't have another freak off with me tonight, I'm going to put this out to the public. That's coercion. For whatever reason, the jury decided not to convict Diddy under force, fraud, and coercion. If you ask me, I can't speak for them, but it seems to me if they're all unanimously, and it came back unanimously right away, the jury is not believing her testimony. Sorry. Clearly, right? Sorry about that. Clearly. Now, if the jury who has the power to convict him and find him guilty, a jury of his peers, 12 people, I ask you this, should the judge be allowed to now take her letter that talks about all of those things that she said on the stand that the jury voted unanimously not to believe, and should that now be used during his sentencing? Hold on, I'm not finished my question. During his sentencing for what he has been found guilty for. And what he has been found guilty for is SCX trafficking for transportation, the Mann Act. Now, let me give you a drill down definition, or what I'll even better, a layman's term definition of what the Mann Act is. Finding a prostitute in, for example, New Jersey and saying, hey, could you cross state lines, whether it be in an Uber, a car, a bicycle, or a plane, come to Manhattan, and let's have SCX, and I'm going to pay you for that. That is what Diddy is in jail for. You could talk about the Cassie video in the CNN video, which is horrible. You could talk about RICO. You could talk about Jane's testimony, Cassie's testimony. You could talk about whatever you want to talk about. I want to talk about the facts. The facts are Diddy has been charged and found guilty for 2 counts of the Mann Act, which is transporting a prostitute across state lines. If you go on the internet and you find a prostitute that's in Jersey and they come over to New York, which takes half an hour, you too could one day be in jail because that is a violation of the Mann Act. Okay? That's it. We could talk about the Mann Act, about that it was created in 1910, that it was a racist act created for black men not to engage or encounter or have SCX with white women and then bring them across state lines. We can also talk about the fact that the DOJ has said that this act should only, or this crime should only be used against people who are profiting, using it for profit, having multiple people for profit, or with people who are not of age. We can also talk about the fact that there has been numerous amount of judges in the United States of America that feel like this act or this charge should not even exist in the United States judicial system. Alexandra Shapiro, Diddy's lawyer, stood up in court on Thursday and said, this act, the Mann Act, is an embarrassment to the United States of America. Let's put all that aside because it's still there and Diddy is found guilty of it. Now, I know it's a long question, but I'll ask it now that we've talked on both sides. Do you think that Sean Diddy Combs should spend 11 years in jail for hiring a prostitute from New Jersey and asking them to meet him in New York? He's already been in jail for 14 months. The judge could give him time served, which would be 14 months. Do you think that he should get 11 years or should he get out on Friday for time served? And please, in the comment section, please don't tell me anything about anything else but what Diddy has been charged for, because this question is only dealing with the facts, not how you feel about him personally, not what he did to Cassie. The judge has to look at the facts. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, our second lead story. The media lied about Charlie Kirk. Candance Owens risked her life to expose government lies. All right, this is a two-parter. Candance Owens is allegedly amplifying the voices of Tyler Robinson's family, who says police got it wrong. On her latest podcast, Owens said Robinson's family is insisting that the blurry image of the man climbing up the stairs is not him. She agreed, pointing out that the person in the video looks taller, slimmer, and has a different facial structure than Robinson. She added that Robinson's fuller lips and broader build are not reflective in the photo. Robinson's family reportedly also raised another major concern. They believe his apartment was staged after his arrest. According to them, a furry bed was placed in the room to make it look like he had traces belonging to Lance, a man whose family owns the apartment unit, which is, I'll tell you who Lance is in a second. Lance's family has questions of their own. They claim police raided the unit, but quickly cleared Lance as a suspect and kept the raid quiet. Owens noted that both families' concerns overlap. Robinson's family says the man in the photo isn't him, while Lance's family wonders why their son was dismissed so quickly. How's your own family be like, yo, what's going on? Why aren't you looking into my own son? Now, the part two, sorry, I just want to make sure I'm getting the right thing here. So here is the part two. Candance Owens says, the blurry picture. Who is Lance? This one I wanted to go. Who is Lance? Lance is Tyler Robinson. Lance Twiggs is reported to be Tyler Robinson's transgender partner and roommate. According to media reports, Tyler allegedly sent text messages to Lance shortly after the unaliving, including instructions to look under the keyboard for a note. Lance is not known to be facing any charges. Family and friends defend Lance, saying he was not involved in planning or executing the crime. Some allege that Tyler's family claims the apartment where evidence was found might have been staged, including placing a furry bed to make the scene look like it involved Lance's taste. Okay, I'm going to play some clips for you from Owens. I'm going to put this up on our Instagram. Go to the Trend Out Loud show. It's literally like 15 different clips, like 15 minutes long. I'm not going to play that here. Just going to play a couple of highlights. Before I do, like I always do when I talk about Candance now, shout out to Candance, man. I am so impressed. I've reached out to her people. That her team is amazing. They are doing so much great work. I've told you guys that she is risking herself. She's in hiding. The feds are after her. Like there's not only that, but there's a lot of other people after her, which I cannot say. Candance is in very, very dangerous territory right now. But from what I've been told, her and her relationship with Charlie Kirk is something that she holds precious to her. And she has done things like this for other stories. And not only is she just this kind of person and this kind of journalist trying to uncover the truth, admitted sometimes I think that she goes too far and she does things for reasons, outside of really getting to the truth. But y'all know me, I'm fair. I call it how I see it. This to me feels like she is just riding for her boy. And I really take my hat off to her, because this is not money. This is not clicks. This is her demanding, and the people who she's going against. Talking about the premier of France's wife being a transgender, that's a whole other thing. What she's doing now with Kash Patel, the federal government, the media, that's in her own backyard. Like she's running a risk of maybe her page being taken down. You know what I mean? Like she is running on some thin ice and some ground that is dangerous. So again, shout out to Candance, man. This is inspiring, really. All right, here's some clips from Candance. Take a look.
Of most interest to me, what I've learned is that his father does not believe, his parents don't believe that their son committed this crime. It's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. He went over to their house. Tyler was called over. Tyler was bewildered. He disputed the idea that he had murdered Charlie Kirk. In fact, according to my source, Tyler has never even stepped foot on UVU campus. My source says that Tyler Robinson was nearby the campus on that day. I'm wondering if that fact, which I'm trying to learn more information regarding, explains the Dairy Queen photo. The family says that the photo of the young man that is coming up the stairs, which was shared, that blurry image, is definitively not Tyler Robinson. And let me just say, I never thought it looked like him. You will recall that I spoke to Lance's family. And one of the things that Lance's family said was, hey, we own that apartment. They pay rent to us. We've never met Tyler Robinson, but I can tell you that it seems like they were trying to hide the fact that this apartment got raided. And it's very strange that they immediately cleared Lance as a suspect. And I was told by other people in the department they wanted to keep that raid very hush-hush. They felt the apartment was staged, and that intentionally in Tyler's room, a furry bed was placed, almost sort of implying that they're trying to transfer the attributes of Lance onto Tyler. It kind of seems like they're agreeing. One family's going, hey, Lance is kind of evil. Why is he getting cleared? And the other one's going, Tyler's not this guy. So what the hell is going on, guys?
All right. So I'll tell you a couple of things, like I said, if you don't want to go over to the Instagram page. So one, the story that we have been told that there was somebody, a pastor that was an ex-police officer, his father called him and then he had him help him turn himself in. That's not at all how things went. Apparently, according to Candance and her sources, this, priest or whoever he was, or ex-cop or whatever, saw the pictures online and was like, hey, I think that's you. And he thinks that was Tyler Robinson, went over to Tyler's house and was like, yo, I think that's you. You could do this the easy way or the hard way. We can have SWAT come in here and take you, or you could just go in by yourselves and I'll take you in. And it was spun, quote unquote, by the media, allegedly, according to Candance, as, oh, he confessed to his father. He told his father everything, which is completely not true, according to Candance. So that's where the media is lying. That's where the FBI and everybody is lying. Tyler Robinson right now still maintains his innocence. Then a couple other things I played are, why was Tyler, in this Dairy Queen 17 minutes after the unaliving? There's a picture. I showed you that picture a couple of weeks ago. There is no proof that he was ever on campus. Candance says that he was around it. They don't know why. Like, there's just a lot of things that we heard of. That's him. This is him. That's it. Oh, close and shut in 33 hours. No, according to Candance, it is not. And how you could know that is true is that you don't hear anything more about Tyler Robinson. You heard that Kash Patel was down there. You heard about the FBI. You heard about them cleaning everything up. They did their job, and this is our man, done. And you don't hear anything else. Like I said, I trust what Candance is doing. I feel like she will have an instrumental role in this case. I hope she does. And we'll follow very close and be a mouthpiece for Candance. And I've told her team anything that they need from me, I'm more than willing. I'm invested. Count me in. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. All right, our third lead story. Coroners cannot explain teen's unaliving in David's Tesla, but can confirm that she was not pregnant. Okay, I think I've been giving you guys like daily follow-ups of what's been going on with David. This is the case that is never going to be solved, but I do have some information to maybe tell you guys that gives a little bit of hope, that it might be solved one day. According to the unaliving certificate obtained by TMZ, the LA County Medical Examiner listed the cause of unaliving of Celeste, the person that was found in the car in the Tesla, as undetermined, meaning it was been deferred. The certificate confirms an autopsy was conducted, but notes that the toxicology results are still pending. It also states that Celeste was not pregnant and had not been in the past year. On September the 8th, LAPD officers were dispatched to Hollywood, etc., etc. LAPD told TMZ the investigation remains open as they working on determining whether foul play was involved. Okay. Sorry, her unaliving was not ruled yet, etc. So they're waiting on a toxicology report. Okay, and I think I have here is the report. I spoke with somebody at TMZ that I met at the Diddy trial, and they told me a couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys. And we also have another story here, but I'll just tell you guys this now. We have another story with Celeste and her being on tape, but I wanted to tell you this, guys. I wanted to tell you this now. They have said a couple of things. One, TMZ is going to be 20 years old, I think, like next month. And they said to me, in 20 years, they've never seen the LAPD, who they have a great relationship with. I mean, this is TMZ. They have a great relationship with. They have never been so secretive. The expression is close to the vest with a case before with them. Harvey himself has been giving them tips. They take it and then don't tell him anything, which is not like them. Which I have said, just me alone, I'm like, I feel like that's weird. And normally when the cops are not giving any information and no one's being arrested, it's like, I feel like there's a cover up somewhere. Like they know something and they just don't want us to know. That's why I said a couple of days ago where I'm like, I don't think this is ever going to be solved because they don't want it to be solved. And I compared it to the Charlie Kirk situation where in 33 hours, we got something. You know what I mean? So it's like, whether you believe that or not, it's like, we got something in here. It's just, we don't know what's going on. Both of them are weird, if you ask me. Now, one thing they did point out is that a lot of people obviously think that David did it, but then there's also stories about that David has been set up. And I never really believed it, but then as I got it described to me today, it makes more sense. Harvey, who is the CEO, everybody knows Harvey from TMZ, apparently lived on that street where David lived, that house where they were rented out, for over 10 years. And what he said is that is a party house. The person that owns that house doesn't live there, and they rent it all the time out. They rent it out all the time, and people have a lot of parties there. It's a party house. So the fact that it was a party house and there was a bunch of people in and out, and the fact that there was a lot of people that had access to the Tesla, they feel like she could have been there at a party with David not being there, maybe have taken something or something happened to her, and David is being now set up because why would David be the one to do something to her, put her in the trunk, leave her outside, and it's his house that registered in his name? It looks more like a setup. So again, I've heard that, but how it was heard presented to me, mixed with the fact that the cops are not saying anything, in conclusion, it's more sounding like there were so many people that are in and out that house. And by the way, the house has cameras. The Tesla has cameras. The street has cameras. So because of the fact that there's been so many people in and out of this place, back and forth with access to the house and access to the Tesla, I'm now thinking maybe it's not necessarily so much of a cover-up, but maybe so much that the cops are so confused because there's so much stuff that's going on and so many people around the situation that it's impossible ever to figure out what happened to her. And that's why you hear things of like, oh, the toxicology report, and we can't determine this and we can't determine that, because it's all just a mess. A mess. When you have one place that hundreds of people have been in and out of, and then you find something a week later, it's been decomposed. Or shoot, I think it was more than that later. Anyways, that is the latest with the situation. I'm going to go over to lead story number 4, still about Celeste, but that is the latest of what I heard. Also, one other thing, I did hear, I don't know if this is true, I did hear that the cops might be making an arrest soon. They might be coming out with something soon, which is, again, I know it's conflicting, but this is what happens when the police don't give you anything, right? People are just going to speculate. One source says this or one source says that. But apparently, through their investigation, Harvey feels, I'll tell you, it comes from Harvey. Harvey feels like something might be coming down the pipeline soon. But to me, if you look at the two stories, if they're like, wow, we're so lost, we don't know anything that's going on, and then it's like, oh, we're going to come up with something soon. That sounds kind of like a Charlie Kirk thing to me, where it's like, let's just put something together because the internet can't stop talking about this and we look crazy. So we'll see the facts. We'll see what comes out. We'll see if, when the person gets charged, if it's like a Tyler Robinson, like, what? It doesn't even look like me. What are you talking about? We shall see. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, our fourth quick story, which should have just been looped in with the third quick story. Celeste on video calling a neighbor the N-word months after being reported missing. A new Celeste video shows her in a heated argument with neighbors months after she was reported missing. The footage captured on a Nest camera on September 8, 2024, shows Celeste confronting a family over a prank. Neighbors recognize her from a missing poster that had been circulated in the area since April 2024. Her high-pitched scream fills the air as she lashes out, using swear words and possibly a racial slur. At one point, a man yells back, pointing that he's not black and therefore she should not use the N-word. I'll play a small little clip, but as you know, with all of this stuff going on, I'll have to bleep everything out. Go to the Trend Out Loud show to see all of it. Here's a small little clip.
No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk?
Shut up. Ain't nobody black right here. What are you talking about? I said we're not black over here. Why you keep calling us?
All right, this brings us to quick news. Bring my bell. Our first quick story, Donald Trump cashes out $24.5 million from YouTube lawsuit. Come on, YouTube. You got hungry content creators out here, y'all, giving Donald Trump $25 million. According to the Wall Street Journal, YouTube has agreed to pay Donald Trump $24.5 million to settle his 2021 lawsuit after his channel was deleted following the January 6th Capitol riots. The deal reportedly makes YouTube the latest of the big three tech giants to settle. Meta has already paid $25 million and X dropped $10 million. But here's the kicker. Sources say Trump is funneling all the lawsuit money into his $200 million White House ballroom renovations, with Patriot donors converting the rest. The backstory, YouTube originally banned Trump for inciting violence after January the 6th. What was supposed to be a 7-day suspension turned into an indefinite ban, only lifted in March 2023 during his second presidential run. Now Trump isn't just back online, he's cashing in heavy. Okay. Everybody kicked him off. Everybody took him back. Let's just move on. I think we have more important things to talk about. And he's not even keeping the money. He's like, just give it to the White House ballroom. This ballroom is going to be like the crown jewel in his crown. Like, he keeps on talking about the ballroom. How about we talk about, like, you know, people, money, hunger, inflation, interest rates, the economy, you know? How about we get back to us? I'm so tired about hearing about everything else. National Guards, crime, this, and I'm not saying that crime is not bad, but I just want to get back to the first, 2 or 3 months. Remember when he was talking about eggs, when he was talking about the people? I just want to get back to that. I just want to hear that or the Epstein file. That's it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Latto finally confirms relationship with 21 Savage, calls him her husband. TMZ caught up with her. I think this is in New York. She doesn't actually really confirm, but she doesn't deny. Here's a quick clip, and I'll tell you why this is such a big deal. Take a look.
These New York streets, about to go have dinner with my husband.
Oh, wait. So are you tired of people asking about you know who?
No.
21. So you're not tired of hearing about 21?
All right, so for those of you who don't know, 21 Savage and Latto are obviously together. Everybody knows that. The reason why they cannot confirm or deny it is that 21 is, I don't know if he's from London, but he's British, okay? He's here on a visa, married to somebody else to get his visa to be here. So that's why he can't be like, yo, I got another girl. So this is like an arranged thing. I mean, sorry, I hope I don't get you in trouble, but I mean, I think everybody knows that by now. So that's the arrangement. I think they're like working in the background. I think even like Jay is helping him like do some stuff or whatever. But also too, because, he's maybe not been like the most perfect citizen since he's got here. He's been wrapped up in some like Atlanta stuff. You know what I mean? So he has to be very, very, very careful. But everybody in the industry knows that they are together. And anyways, that's the reason why they can't admit it, for those of you who don't know. And for those of you who don't know also, Latto is one of my favorite female hip hop artists, not only because she could actually really rap and writes her own rap, she's just a good person. She's a good girl. I know somebody on her team, and she's just a good girl, man. She's not like the regular like industry standard girl. And 21, like, do not mess that up. Do whatever you have to do with your green card or your citizenship or whatever it is, and wife her down. Do not let her go, and treat her, because she's a good girl, man. They don't make girls like Latto, and I know her whole background, and she's a good girl. Anyways, shout out to Latto and 21. All right, our third quick story. Oops, Klay Thompson refuses to answer questions about how he balances his relationship with Megan Thee Stallion during the summer. He says, I'm not going to talk about that. I'll play the clip quick for you. Let's just go to it. Jeez.
But for you, how have you balanced this summer for you? And more importantly, how has your relationship made you better as a man on and off the floor, and how that's going to move forward for you as far as your career?
My relationship with
Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm not going to talk about that.
All right. I think it was yesterday when I showed you a clip of Megan dancing outside, twerking. And she's like, yo, my man is not here, so I'm ready for you now, hotties. And I was like, if I left... Oh, she said, my man's at work now. If I left for work and my girl put a video of her twerking on Instagram, I was like, my man's gone, I'm ready for you now. I'd be like, what's going on? And now Klay is like, I'm not talking about my relationship. I already told you this was a setup. This was them putting them together. This is an industry thing, because Megan was having like such negative reaction online with the whole Tory Lanez thing. And this is her, publicist working overtime. Just like Rick Ross and his girlfriends. And it happens all the time. So I feel like this is like the falling out. Klay's not talking about it. She's posting up things. One more month, I think the contract will be up, unless they like renew it. We'll see. All right, our fourth quick story. I'm going to touch on this very, very quickly. Part 2, the ladies battle back and forth on X, and they did not disappoint. All right, I do not like getting into like girly kind of like catfighty stuff. This happened last night. Nicki Manaj tweeted and said to never provoke a writer while they're writing. You join the game as a willing participant. Don't try to back out now. March 27, 2026. Hashtag Rock Bottom Nation, Rock Inflation, and Rico Nation. You failed. Let the let the reindeer games begin. I don't know. Anyways, then Cardi B wrote back and said, you must have missed me, huh? Now kiss my feet. And then Cardi B said, nothing more annoying than a bored B word. Nicki Minaj reposted this and says, despite false reports, Nicki Minaj is the only female rapper to have an album cross over 200,000 units in his first week this decade. And then she also posted, I am drama selling 199,000.6, meaning that she missed the 200,000 mark by 500 copies. Oh, let me tell you a little more things. Nicki said, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, rap like Barney, you still ugly. Cardi B put a picture of Nicki Minaj's brother, who has a charge for doing some pretty like Jeffrey Epstein-ish things. Here's that. I'll show you this picture. Then Nicki put, because she's saying that she raps like Barney because she's like really elementary. Here's a picture of Cardi with a Barney face on. Jay-Z like saying Jay-Z paid to have Cardi come out with the Players anthem, and that flopped, so he's crying over it, etc. Okay. This all stems from Cardi saying, yo, when I drop, I'm going to beat Nicki's records. I'm going to do all this or whatever. And you can argue back and forth if she missed it by 500 or whatever. Apparently, according to the actual records, she did do it. And she's the only female artist for her first 2 albums to sell over 200,000. Nicki Minaj is contesting that. What some insiders will say is that for the rollout, for the money, for sitting down with Gayle King, for sitting down with all of these people, she maybe should have been done a little bit more than 200,000. But at the same time, the same people are saying in this day and age, in this climate, to do 200,000 is crazy. So I think, like, first of all, they go back and forth all the time. For those of you who don't know this, they've never liked each other. Well, I mean, there's at a point where they were kind of cordial, but we all knew this was going to happen, right? And this is Nicki kind of just flexing her muscle, being like, haha, you're on your album rollout. Boom, I'm going to announce my album. And now she's kind of just piggybacking off of Cardi's coattails, which I think Cardi is not being smart, because as much as she's engaging with Nicki, now everybody knows, Nicki Minaj's album was coming out March the 27th. So why are you letting her get on your free promotion? I would have not responded to her. I would have not said anything to her. Wait for all my stuff to die out. And then when her album comes out, let her do her own promotion. I think, to me, what will determine this quote unquote sales battle is when Nicki comes out. If Nicki could do 200,000 within the 6-month time period, that will be a better way to stage or gauge the battle. How long ago did Nicki's last album come out? Was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? So I think if they're coming out within the 6 months apart, I think that would be a more fair battle. But anyways, we posted this if you guys want some more information, you want to read about it. They went kind of low. Stuff was dirty. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All right, our 5th quick story, more Cardi B news. Cardi B caught screaming at Ice Spice managers, threatening to beat him up, and even mention Latto's name. All right, this also too is on our Instagram, The Trend Out Loud Show. This is just pure swearing and pure yelling. I'll play a small clip so that you could hear it. Latto, not Latto. Cardi has come out and said that she was not the one who's recording this, that the manager recorded it, and it was put out by Latto's team, and has proof. Latto answered back with the laughing emoji, and then she put out like this whack kind of like diss track to Nicki. All right, so yes, last story, Cardi was beefing with Nicki, and now she's also beefing with Latto. But this was from a year ago, so who put this out now? Who knows? Anyway, here is a small clip of the leaked phone conversation. Take a listen.
Why you want to act dumb?
Trust me, I really don't know.
You don't know? I'm going to show ya. I'm not Latto. I'm going to beat her the up. Y'all gonna see what the is up. You think I'm as Latto?
Sorry, tell me, what's that? Yeah, I don't know. I'm over.
Bro.
And here is Cardi's response. This is the manager's response. I did not record or leak that call. You hear me on speaker with your manager, Tubby, who called me with you on three-way. You can literally hear that clip in the line. The audio didn't come from me. I respect private conversations, and I'm not in the business of leaking anything. Cardi B answered and said, James, be for real and be a man. I was in my bedroom by myself. It was only me, you, and Tubby on the call. So you saying it was Tubby? Your artist put a laughing emoji, then leaked the conversation, then posted a trash clip of her song in less than an hour. This is why you've been avoiding the CEOs of 10K, because you know you did it and you sound like a B word. All right, that's it. And then, yeah, I can't play Ice Spice's diss track. People are making fun of it online. That's all I can tell you. Maybe we'll post it up on the Instagram account, okay? That's it for Cardi. I feel like there's been a lot of Cardi here today. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. All right, our sixth quick story. People are still talking about Bad Bunny and Super Bowl. Bad Bunny headlining, this is from DJ Vlad. I don't know why he keeps coming up on my timeline, but I wanted to give you his perspective. Bad Bunny headlining. Sorry, I realized why I wanted to give this to you. This is the first person in the hip hop industry, in the hip hop community, that is saying they don't understand why Bad Bunny is headlining the Super Bowl. A lot of people on MAGA on the right side don't like it, and that I can understand. So this is the first person in hip hop. I mean, DJ Vlad is a white Jewish DJ who's really a content creator, but let's hear what he has to say. Bad Bunny heading the Super Bowl is strange to me. I'm glad he's getting such a huge opportunity, but none of his songs are in English, and I don't speak Spanish. Most of the audience at the Super Bowl won't speak Spanish. Only 14% of Americans speak Spanish. So most of the televised audience won't know or understand his songs either. I could see him doing a major event like FIFA or the World Cup where there is a massive Spanish audience, but the Super Bowl doesn't make sense. It seems like the NFL is trying to expand its Latino audience at the expense of its existing fans. What are your thoughts? Yo, music translates language. That's like saying don't put Bob Marley up there because you won't understand him. How many Afrobeat songs do you know and love that you don't know what they're saying? I don't know nothing that Burna Boy is saying. Last, another chop breakfast, shallow. Yo, when that comes on, it's over. Like, I'm like, bah, 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 shallow. I don't know what he's saying. I would love Burna Boy to be at the Super Bowl. I would be their front row. Yo, there's been tons of artists that you don't know what they're saying. There's one Bad Bunny song that I love. I don't know what he's saying, but I love the song. Music transcends language. This is a horrible take. Horrible. Now, if you want to say on the right, hey, he doesn't like Trump and he's against ICE and he's this or whatever, I don't agree with that, but at least that more makes sense, where he's like, hey, he said that he didn't want to do any shows in America. What is he doing at the Super Bowl? And my answer to that is what I said yesterday is what I love about it is that he has a right to protest. He has a right to talk about Trump. He has a right to talk about ICE. And he has a right to say, I don't want to perform in the US because I feel like ICE are going to target my audience and show up at my concerts and arrest and harass my people. I don't want to do that to my people, but I will do it in a safe space like the Super Bowl where you ain't going to come up and run up on my people. And then as I'm there, I could set a precedent and I could get my voice across. And I think that's fair because the same way how I said that I don't believe and that I don't agree with a lot of the things that Charlie Kirk has ever said. I have said that he has a right for free speech and he can do whatever he likes. And I at least like that he's open. He goes and discusses with people. This is the same thing that Bad Bunny is doing now. It's the same thing that Rock Nation, the same thing that the NFL is doing. And I find it really, really almost embarrassing for people to at one side of their mouth say free speech, we can do whatever we want, put Charlie Kirk on a dollar bill. You want to put Bad Bunny on Super Bowl? His songs are in Spanish. We don't understand Spanish. He's afraid of ICE. So why is he here? Like, that is a horrible, horrible argument. Sound off below and let me know what you guys think. All right, seventh quick story. Where are you at, Bronny Braun? LeBron James says he is not waiting for his son Bryce to get to the NBA and play with him. He has his own timeline. I got mine. This is a great decision, LeBron. The Lakers didn't extend your contract. For the first time, you were playing in your last year without having a team option you. Just go out. Take this as your last bow, sir. This is your retirement year, Bron. Retire. One of the greatest of all time. I'll put you on my Mount Rushmore if I had a fifth place. You're top 5 in my books. I don't want LeBron to get another ring and then tie Kobe. I don't want him to get another ring and just be only one away from Jordan. And dare I say he ever get 2 more rings and even tie Jordan? Nah, no siree, Bob. By the way, people who don't who don't watch the show daily, I love LeBron James off the court. He's probably one of my favorite athletes off the court. Family man, activist, just a great human being, like great person. On the court, we strip all that away and we just look at them as the people who they are. Jordan, he's just a god, like amongst men. Then there's Kobe. Steph Curry revolutionized the game. And then maybe I'll put LeBron there. But there's a bunch of other people I could put in that space. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about LeBron not waiting for Bryce. Please just go away. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, our 8th quick story. I'm in a good mood today, y'all. All right, eighth quick story. Donald Trump, we can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word. There are 2 N-words, and we can't use either of them. While speaking in front of the U.S. generals on Tuesday, Donald Trump shared some words about the N-words that cannot be used. Who put this story in here? Take a quick listen to Donald Trump.
And it was really a stupid person that works for mentioned the word nuclear. Just to be careful, because we can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word. There are 2 N-words, and you can't use either of them.
All right, y'all, that brings me to my favorite segment, comments, social discussion of the day. All right, before we get to that, I have a quick question for you. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are. If you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform, go to my sponsor below, aura.com/trend out loud to get your 14-day free trial to see if any of your data has already been exposed. If you're ever wondering how scammers get your cell phone number or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers, and they sell your data, and they do it without your consent, and they make billions of dollars selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That's why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of these sites and keeping it off. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and leaving your back door open. With Aura, you get alerts if any of your personal data is ever found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit card and banking information found on the dark web. They also give you a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have a US-based support around the clock. And they also have a $5 million identity theft insurance package. If anything does go wrong, you are always protected. QR code is right beside me. Sign up. It's free for 14 days. All right, before we get into comments, also got to remind you to sign up for the Trend Out Loud membership. With the membership, you get loyalty badges, emojis, member-only live streams, member-only videos, early access to videos, and member shout-outs. And, of course, we give you a vlog every week where I just get into my feelings, I get into my emotions. I give you a background or behind the scenes of interviews that I'm doing or any traveling, just the kind of way to just keep in touch with you guys on a one-on-one basis. So people are definitely loving the vlogs. Make sure you sign up for that, all right? Now, comments and then the social discussion. This was a good comment. Hey, Trent. Guinea, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Guinea from Lincoln, Nebraska, recently started watching your show, and I have to say it's one of my go-tos now. I'm out here in Nebraska, and I totally agree with you that everybody knows who Bud Crawford is. He does great things for his community. He lives here. He and his family are great members of the community. They are absolutely certain ways to handle situations like this, and I'm glad that they are looking into it. All right, thank you so much for that comment. I love that you found us and that you are watching us, and we are your go-to. Appreciate that, love. Secondly, I do know I saw some comments where people are like, you call him Terrence Howard. Sorry, I know it's Terrence Crawford, my bad. Or what the people that know him, Bud Crawford, my bad. That's the dyslexia coming out. The first thing is names, and it's bad. And I know I have a show and I got to do better. Thank you for your grace. Third thing, I love that somebody from the community is saying exactly what I said yesterday, where a police officer pulled over Bud and his crew for reckless driving. And when they looked in the car, they saw GUNs and they pulled them out at GUN point. And the police are looking into it. And what I said is, I would understand if you pulled over some regular people and you saw that in there. This is Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. He just had a parade. And like the comment is saying from Guinea, you all know who he is. So why would you take him out by GUN point like that? Like, it's just ridiculous. I hope I think they said the mayor is looking into this, the police chief, and we haven't heard anything about this officer being like reprimanded or put on leave pending investigation. I think he should be fired. Like, this is crazy. And you know how traumatic that must be for somebody like that, you know? And just to let you guys know, everybody in the car was licensed to carry, and there was all his security. Like, duh, he's there having a parade. Anyways, for those of you who didn't see it, make sure you go and check out yesterday's episode. Was really good. Now, social discussion of the day. Pretty funny. A woman says a man that drives a Mercedes-Benz gives feminine energy. What? Take a listen for yourself.
I will happily be the first to say it. A man in a Mercedes is not a man. That's a bad bitch. In fact, a man pulling up in a Mercedes is a bad bitch waiting for you to hold his purse. Look, babe, I don't make the rules. It's just a feminine car. When you look at a BMW, it's giving mask. Audi, mask. A Mercedes, babe, that's femme.
All right. This is hilarious if you ask me. Now, I'm a car guy, okay? I will tell you straight up if a car was giving feminine energy or not. And a Mercedes-Benz does not give feminine energy. Mercedes-Benz are one of the best cars out there. Like, they are dope, okay? Now, what I will say is that maybe she was alluding to the fact that a man pulling up in a G-Wagon is giving feminine energy. That I will say. I do have a boy, one of my boys that owns a G-Wagon in Florida and in Miami, and he came and he picked me up, and I was like, oh, this guy's he has a couple of cars. He came to pick me up in the G-Wagon. I was like, oh gosh, guy came up in the G-Wagon. I did go inside and I was like, yo, he had it tricked out, whatever, like red leather seats, whatever. And I was like, yo, it's, I've always hated on this car. I didn't feel like it was like super manly. But the interior was super dope and it kind of grew on me. But I have always felt that the G-Wagon was more of like a feminine car. So I don't know if that's what she's alluding to, but you can't be like, a Mercedes gives off feminine energy. What are you talking about? There's some really, 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 really dope Mercedes-Benz. So I don't agree with this at all, but keeping it open to the ladies out there, and guys too, do you feel like there are any cars that you feel give off feminine energy? Not color, like a brand of a car. If a guy pulls up in this or that or whatever, do you feel there's a brand? I personally can't think of one that I feel like a brand, because a brand always has, sub cars. But like I said, other than brands, style of cars, there's definitely some style of cars that are a little bit more girly than others, right? Like a Mini Cooper, like that's a girl car. Like, come on, you know what I mean? But and ever since Post Malone said in that song where he's like G-Wagon, 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 all the housewives pulling up, like that, you cannot pull up G-Wagon and be like, yo, it's popping. It's girly. It's girly, man. It's like, I don't know one girl that, that's stereotyping, but I'm gonna say I don't know one girl that wouldn't love to have a G-Wagon. I'm sure there are that wouldn't, but I'm just saying I know a lot of females that were like, yo, I'll drive that G-Wagon. Anyways, let me know if you feel like there's a car that's feminine out there in the comment section below. All right, brings us to question of the day. This is actually really funny. Ruin a date in just 4 words. Go. Somebody said, what's your zodiac sign? I don't feel like that's ruining a date, but there are some guys that are like, oh, these girls that are into this astrology stuff, stay away. Somebody said, I have a kid. It's not ruining the date, but yeah. But you should know that before you ever go on a date. Somebody said, I got my punctuation. I don't know if I could say that, but I'm sure y'all ladies know. Just in case he thought he was getting some. Another person said, what's your favorite position? I don't know how that would ruin a date, but okay. I forgot my wallet. That's a guy, I guess, saying that to a girl. Girls, would that make you ruin a date if a guy's like, oh my gosh, I forgot my wallet? You could just go home and e-transfer you, but whatever. Somebody said, your half is 57.62. Another guy said, just say that you like Kevin Samuels. Grand Rising Queen, that will ruin everything for me. Really? Grand Rising Queen. I know a girl that says that all the time. Grand Rising King. Another person said, my baby daddy's outside. Yeah, that will definitely ruin the date. My baby mama crazy. Somebody said, I'm between jobs now. That wouldn't make me ruin a date. But hold on, is that a guy or a girl saying that? No, if a girl said she's between jobs right now, I wouldn't think anything bad. Somebody said marriage is a scam. Would that ruin a date? I don't know. I'm very open. Like, why do you think this? Is it because you've been hurt? Is it because whatever? And I feel like in a good relationship, things could change. So I'm kind of easygoing. Somebody said you could ruin a date quickly by saying you voted for Trump. And I would say, bye. That's funny. My card just got declined. Somebody said, what's your name again? Yeah, imagine on a date and be like, yo, what's your name again? Yeah, we're done. Somebody said, just go out and say, yeah, my baby mama works here. These are funny. What you be cooking? Do you like me? Can't carry a conversation. Yeah, that's bad for me if you can't carry a conversation. Oh, she's your sister? That's bad. I need to go do a number 2. Would that ruin a date if you went on a date with somebody the first date? Because it doesn't say first date, but whatever. I guess it's a first date. If somebody's on a first date and they're like, yo, I need to go take a number 2. Would that ruin it for you? I don't know. Somebody said, my ex used to, and then Kim continued talking. Yeah, it's not the best thing in the world. Just yell out, 2 checks, please. I told you these were funny. Somebody said, oh, shoot, my girl's calling me. This place is expensive. I ran out of gas. Let's split the check. My car's in the shop right now. Ooh, I don't know why I found this so funny. Why y'all break up? My ex is calling me, etc., etc. All right. 4 words, or maybe 5 or 6 words. How could you ruin a date quick, fast? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on today's show. I think we had a fun show, a lot of exclusives, a lot of, good information I feel like I brought y'all. I'm here working for y'all, all right? Before I let you guys go, what I got to remind you, memberships, sign up for the membership, Out Louder memberships, exclusive videos, fun things coming down the pipeline. Link below, right in the description. And also somewhere up here, you'll see memberships or join, sign up, all right? You'll see different levels. All you need is the first Out Louder level to join. The rest are, if you just want to pay more, kind of just like a tip, all right? We just need the first one to get access to everything. So sign up today. Also, link below and QR code beside me. Sign up for Aura. If you've ever shopped online, you are at risk for any of your information getting exposed. Aura could take it all offline for you if you're worrying about those kind of things. And also, I just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trend Out Loud show. If you like to listen on podcast platforms, we're available on all of them. Just go to any podcast site, type in Trend Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And we upload daily. Yes, 7 days a week, we have a show for you. Now, if you're like me and like video, head on over to YouTube, type in Trend Out Loud, the show will pop up. I'm going to need you to do 5 things when you're over on YouTube. First one is hit the subscribe button and that like button, get the algorithming. 3, I do the show with you. You guys are my co-hosts. So please try to comment on any of the stories or subjects I'm talking about. If you don't want to join in on the conversation, that's obviously fair too, but please just let me know where you're listening from. This is a global podcast and I love to see the country and city you are listening from. 4th, if you're enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because it helps in growing the channel, and that's what we're here to do. And 5th, like I said earlier, sign up for our memberships, link below or somewhere up top, join our membership button. For those who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms. It's always the same handle, Trend Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. And speaking of Instagram, like I've said a bunch of times during the show, please follow us on Instagram, The Trent Out Loud Show. We are active on there. Mostly all the stories that we're going to be talking about here, we'll post. You guys will be able to see the full video, no bleeps, unedited, full. And when you get to come to the show, you're a lot more prepared and you know a lot more. And I feel like this show is a lot more fun when you know about the stories we're talking about, right? So make sure you follow us, The Trent Out Loud Show on Instagram. Have a good night or a great morning, and I will see you tomorrow. Deuces. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!